All righty. Well, it is so fun getting to be on here today and just doing a wellness assessment with you, Debbie. And honestly, I do have to give Terry Seacrest the credit for this because it was her genius idea so many years ago that we need just a simple form that folks can fill out that allows us to kind of get a very basic understanding of where they're at with their health. And then as we're reading through the assessment, we can ask them questions and really try to dig a little bit deeper. And part of this is intuitive. As wellness coaches, it's not a formula necessarily. It's building a relationship with the person so that they know that you really care about them and that you really care about not just selling them the most products possible at the end of it, right? That's really not our mission. It is how can we serve them with what they need specifically, and then talk about their budget and see how we can really set up what I like to call a 90-day health plan. So I think of this as not just what is their first order going to be, but what can we do as a 90-day health plan? And that's also where the budgeting fits in.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
way to go, Terry. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. No, granted. I've probably helped do some of the editing and the pretty formatting and all that stuff over the years. But what's so fun is this is available for anyone on the Royal Dream team to be able to use. And there's a version out there, and I'll make sure you have access to the PDF of it that just has basically a spot where you can put your basic information in so that they can contact you and that you are their main go-to person, you being whoever is doing this wellness assessment. And so what's really fun about it is, Debbie, and you have one of these in front of you.
Yes,
So
I
what we're
do.
going to do in just a minute is have you fill it out. But I think what I want to kind of do is do like a pause, and I will act as if I'm the wellness coach and you're someone just brand new coming in and like, hey, yeah, I'm interested to figure out what this is all about, see how you can help me. Let's sit down and I'll do a wellness assessment.
All right.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, pause. Well, hey,
Okay.
Debbie, thanks so much for just joining me here today. I'm super stoked to get to help you with your health and figure out what's going on. So, um, you have a wellness assessment here, and I
Yes.
would love to just have you go ahead and fill it out, and then we're going to really dive into some of the things that you are most interested in. And so,
Okay.
yep. So just as a precursor, basically, this is a brief questionnaire that's intended to help you identify areas of your life where you would like to make changes. It's not intended to diagnose any health condition. And so I recommend that you work with your healthcare provider for medical advice on how these changes may affect your health.
Awesome.
So
I
this is a bit of our
understand.
disclaimer. And of course, you can use discretion on what we talk about today. If you feel like you need to run it past a doctor, feel free to. If you feel confident in what we come up with as some great protocols for you today, then you can go ahead and implement those as you would like to. Also,
Okay.
I'm personally not a medical doctor. I'm not a certified medical practitioner. So we're not going to be prescribing and diagnosing. But what I love to do is I love to just see where you're at. And then with the experience I have over so many years of health coaching and lifestyle coaching and just doing different conferences and researching and books and things, I love to help you come up with the best solution for what you're going through.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and we're just going to run through from top to bottom on this wellness assessment. The first part is which body systems would you like to support? And since you have your own form there and I have mine, I'm just going to go ahead and you can verbally tell me your answers and I will write it out on my assessment that I have here.
Okay. Well, I do know that I've had digestive issues. I've had just about everything on this, actually.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, overall, I've always needed some type of everything in here.
Okay.
Cardiovascular nuts, so much, but maybe
Mhm.
so because I've been more sedentary and I'm starting to trying to work towards
Mm,
getting my cardiovascular up even higher than just a half hour to an hour. I've been
okay.
trying to do a 3 hour. The digestive, I've always had some type of issue with certain foods and stuff like that with, you know, whether I'm not always consistently having healthy elimination. So I know there's got to be something in there that is going to be of a need. Skin, hair, nails, absolutely, because the hair, I don't have as much thickness of my hair as I used to have.
Okay.
And I've actually had um spots that are like my doctor used to call it a fibrocystic tumor that I had removed in my early 20s on the
Mm,
back of my shoulder.
okay.
So that is also hormonal, yes, because I've transitioned from regular to peri to I think I'm almost in menopausal because of no menstruation for quite a while.
Okay.
So I'm in need of where do I go from here? Immune system, I'm finding, yes, my immune system gets attacked only because I'm not always focused on the mental of trying to keep my emotions and health in check. So
Mm-hmm.
that has been an issue. And then the muscles and bones, I honestly, um, I do have what my chiropractor used to call I had my tendons, oh my gosh, my medical terms for my massages, just really trying to get this out here.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
they've been, um, I get an adjustment and then everything falls out, and I know to be that it's been, um, old lady ligaments. I think that's I've never been able to have a solid to where my bone structure stays, in alignment, literally. It's been that
Okay.
unique. And then
Interesting.
respiratory, yes, I've had that issue because of respiratory as a child. I I've had ear issues with,
Mm-hmm.
and I had tubes put in my ears when I was a child, and then respiratory with, sinus infections growing up, and then, um, developed bronchitis sometimes, so I've had just about all over the board easily,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and there's no mistaking, I've had it all.
Goodness. Well, what's beautiful is you have an understanding of where you're at right now. And that's the best thing because you're conscious of where you're at now, what you've been through in the past, the things you've overcome, the things you're working on right now. And that is honestly a great starting place, especially for someone that's wanting to do things more naturally like you are. So, congratulations on that because the first part of it really is just awareness. And then also not stressing yourself out too much. Because what I'm not going to do is prescribe a product for every one of these body systems today. That
And
would
God
probably stress
forbid
you
if
out.
you need it before, you might need to just in case you get that triggered. Okay, yeah, she might be on the more emotional needs this time, we might need to pull one of those out today.
Exactly. And you mentioned the mental and emotional. Have you discovered that when your emotions are needing some support, that it affects your immune system and your immune system goes lower?
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's something to be aware of for sure and go, okay, well, if my immune system's down, then maybe I need to think about my emotions and my stress. What's the cause of that stress or fatigue kind of a thing and address that as
I'm
well.
just letting you know that a lot of Americans like me, I think we're all been a hot mess.
Yeah, the last few years has been quite challenging. We are coming off of COVID and lockdowns and media and all the things being thrown at us, honestly. So
Right.
part of it is being really wise in how we filter what we take in. Sometimes less is better.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
and really just knowing where you're at in your life, what things you need to be focusing on, whether it's family. So here's something really neat. As we do a little bit of this today, I'm going to
Right.
um what I what has happened over the years is people come to me because they say, "Oh, I have a physical something. Can essential oils help me with sleeping?" I don't sleep very good. My brain's going 100 miles a minute when I sit down at night, kind of a thing. And so what I realized is that there's actually five main areas of our overall wellness that, rather than trying to balance these five areas, because that can really stress us out, what we need is strategy.
Really?
We need a strategy on where we're going. So the five areas, and you could even write this down, maybe take the back of your wellness form, because I'm going
Okay.
to start writing some notes on the back of mine, but things I share with you, you can take notes on yours.
Okay.
So write number one as physical health, because that's what we're talking about today. Then number
All
two
right.
is emotional health. Number three is relationships. Number four is finances. And number five is spiritual health. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that any one of these is more important than the other, but depending on what's really happening in your life, you may need to focus more on one or a few. And so,
Okay.
what's amazing is, like we just talked about, immune system. If you're thinking physical health, the immune system is lower, but then that's related to emotional health and what things are going on emotionally. And emotional health may be dependent on or determined by what's going on in your family or your financial uh, aspect of things right now, right? And so they're
Right.
all connected. And then to
Yes.
really understand how and why we as human beings have the ability to, I almost want to say heal ourselves, but it's not that we have to go to a doctor for healing, because God has given us so many things to help us naturally, like the plants and shrubs and trees and healthy food and good water, right? And
Right.
so we get to go to those things. But I think it requires an understanding that we have the ability to affect our physical being, our spiritual being, our emotional being, and those around us in our community. And when we take ownership of that, we can come into, into balance and into strategy in those areas. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess I would say identity in the spiritual arena, it's about identity and really knowing that you're here for a purpose and that
Right.
you can be healthy, and that I personally don't believe that God gives us diseases. He can use anything, but it is up to us to connect with him and say, Lord, something's off here. What do I need to do in my life? Give me some direction here. So it's
Right.
beautiful if someone has that spiritual understanding, they can ask for wisdom. And I truly believe that we receive that wisdom when we ask.
Awesome. Yeah, me too.
Wonderful. Well, so let's keep going down this. Let's talk about, what does your current diet consist of? And because a good phrase to write this down on the back of your page is food is fuel.
Yep.
Food is fuel. And so what we put in us is, if you're a truck, if you go buy a truck and it's a gasoline truck, right? You pull it off the lot and you're like, I've got my new truck. It's great. You're driving it a while. It says beep, beep, put gas in. And you take it to the gas tank and you're like, well, I bought a gas truck, but I really want to see what it does with diesel today. And you put diesel in it, you're not going to get very far, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
you're waking up and you're like, I need energy for today and good brain power. And you go eat Twinkies and coffee for breakfast.
Right.
You're going to have a sugar high and your brain's not going to have any protein to run on. And you're not going to accomplish
Right.
your goals.
Exactly.
So, as a foundation, where are you at right now with your diet? And then we can go into a few things if you feel like you need some shift with that.
Okay. Well, I feel right now I've gotten better with it. only for the fact that I've been watching and doing reading labels more
Good.
and taking part in that, um, especially when I'm in the I don't wanna deal with all the chemicals, so I'm always trying to find the organic stuff or
Mhm.
something as good as. If the store doesn't carry it, I'm trying to read the label to find out exactly if it's going to, um, give me a better quality than
Good.
just something regular.
Good. Congratulations. So that is wonderful. So you're aware of that and having a good balance of your vegetables, your fruits, your grains, your nuts, your proteins and things like that. I generally recommend for a person to shop the outsides of the store and just skip the center aisles as much as possible, and that's a good rule of thumb to start with.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also, just keep in mind the 80-20 rule is 80% good, 20% maybe what you call cheating or dessert or whatever, because our body and our digestive system can process that 20%, but it probably can't process 60, 70, 80% of
Ooh,
garbage.
that's a good point. I like that percentage dialing of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so then the next question is, are you taking any specific supplements or medication currently?
Well, not currently, I'm doing much better with it. In the past, I obviously prescribed to more of the other stuff that I didn't know was not as beneficial as what I'm doing now in my future, which, is an overall spectrum of I shop in my Young Living store.
Good.
Obviously, these people watching now would not agree with that. They would be shopping at a grocery store to find out what type of foods
Hmm.
could compare to their health needs that can help them.
Hmm.
But I'm a little different on that point. I've
Yeah.
expanded more of my grocery experience into my
Good
Young
job.
Living back office.
Yes. So for instance, maybe Debbie, someone else might say, well, yeah, I've heard it's good to take a multivitamin. So I get my multivitamin from the grocery store and it looks like it says great stuff, but I don't know if it's good for me. I can't really feel a difference. So if you have a different suggestion, I'm open to it.
Correct, yes, because I
And
know I'm a very rare bird when it comes to this exact
for sure,
question.
for sure. And sometimes a person goes, well, I've heard I need to take a probiotic. So I just went down to CVS and, I get their basic probiotic. Well, as we know, they probably don't have as many strains of probiotics and different types of probiotic in theirs. Of course, I would recommend Young Living's Life 9 is our
Yes,
is our probiotic and our essential enzymes and things like that.
and our mighty pros.
Yeah, exactly. Also the I love Comfortone, ICP, all of the different colon products and the Juba products are absolutely amazing for anything digestive. So we can get into that.
Would you suggestively, if someone were just starting with this health and wellness thing, you probably put them on that, don't you, to get them started?
If digestive issues is a real big thing, then yes, I don't usually start them off with a big cleanse because we need to gradually get their mindset into health. And then maybe
Okay,
month 3, I would do a cleanse. If it's not an
alright,
immediate need, usually that's something I work them into, like getting them on
gotcha.
Red so that they're getting more energy. Red actually has a high protein content. And so for me, when I drink Red in the morning, it does the same thing as coffee for my bowels. And about 30 minutes later, I need to find a restroom.
Ah, yeah, you're just like me when it comes to eating something really good, all of a sudden, okay,
Yeah,
time.
time to go. Yes.
And
Oh, goodness.
it's wonderful that you brought that up with the supplementation too, because to me, I know very important wise, my supplementation is strong, but I also know in a general format, if my house isn't prepped first, that I need to clean the house to get rid of a lot of the stuff that I might be inhaling into my lungs
Yes.
or touching
Mm-hmm.
in my
Mm-hmm.
system, and that's where I first when I started this wellness thing a while ago, I realized that I needed to clean out all the chemicals in my house
Mm-hmm.
first
Mm-hmm.
to get the foundation started before I could start working on my internal.
Yes, yes. And so if a person continues with the toxins they have in their home, the toxins that they're ingesting or the foods they're eating, and then tries to do a colon cleanse, it's really not going to have the same effect as if they've been off of the not so great stuff for 1 to 2 to 3 months and then they do a cleanse. So I try to shift the mindset of get all the bad stuff out. Okay, now you're doing good with that. And then let's go ahead and do some cleansing if we need to.
Okay.
Targeted thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's what the Lord told me to do a long time ago, and I started about good 20 years ago on that. But when
Good.
I got into the Young Living, I started realizing, oh, these are very much important products that I need to start focusing on first.
Mhm.
And I was glad I figured out that layer that the Lord intuitively told me. But most people don't get that opportunity. They don't think about those things right away. So,
Mhm. Mhm. For sure. Yeah. So let's keep going because the rest of the questions are really going to help us hone in on the most important
okay.
things here.
All
So
right.
let's go ahead and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 or fill in the blank. So question number one is how do you rate your health overall? Number one is poor, number five is excellent.
Well, it's funny, interesting the sluggish and the energetic because there are days, and this is very interesting when you said food is your fuel,
Uh-huh.
because when those 20% days hit me,
Mm-hmm.
the next day I feel so sluggish. Like, what did I
Mm.
just stinking do to myself? And then those
Yep.
days I'm eating really good, having my shakes and doing my healthy salads, then I'm closer to the 4 or the 5, the really energetic days. So, yeah, that that totally that really pinpointed, "Oh, yeah, fuel, food, definitely."
There
Yeah,
you
I know for
go.
me, I
Good.
fell off the wagon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you're aware of that, oh, the pizza and the ice cream and the M&Ms sound really good. And
No.
then the next day your body goes, "What the heck did you do to me? Why? What did I do to you? Please be nice next time." Oh my goodness. And the thing is, everyone is different. So every person's body is different. So I'm not a fan of suggesting like keto diet or Atkins diet or you need to do intermittent fasting or whatever. A person can decide those things if they need to. What I more so
Okay,
go for is get the toxins out, put the good stuff in. And that's the best foundation to do. And when you do
perfect.
those simple things, even things like weight gain, weight fluctuation, constipation, holding water in, and things like that, actually, um, you start to dissipate. It happens less and less when you're giving your body the right things that it needs. So,
Gotcha.
yep. Okay, so rate your health overall. I'm just gonna put like 4 because you are healthy and you're aware of what you're doing, but then it kind
Okay.
of drops a bit down if you're cheating and not listening for a day or two.
But I have that chocolate craving, and I don't have my chocolate nougats.
Yeah, right. Oh my. Well, okay, so how about rate your stress level throughout the day?
Well, okay. So this is unique because my stress level, there's days when my internet is working and I can talk to those team members or those family members that I've been needing
Mm-hmm.
to communicate with. But then there's the days when I don't have any of the communication and I'm thinking, okay, I'm on the back burner here. So I guess in sometimes some days are fine. The sunshine is beautiful. Like always love how our beautiful friend Beverly goes, "It's not all rainbows and stuff." And I'm
In the
thinking to
perfect
myself,
world of sunshine and rainbows. Yes, I love
"This
Beverly's
is so
phrase.
true. Not every day is like that." when there's clouds in the sky and I'm not at the water, it could be a bad low day, but otherwise, I try to work with that and go, "Okay, so what could make Debbie feel good today to
Mhm.
make her stress level not so high?"
There you go. Good, good. So being aware of where you're at that day, what are the external things going on? Because what's interesting is emotions are internal. Like we feel them. We think it, we internalize it. It can affect our body as far as our energy levels. If we're just light, like feeling like doing a little happy dance, or if we're, oh my goodness, I just want to get through today. We feel emotions very internal. However, when emotions come up, it's important to ask ourselves, okay, is this something that I am personally experiencing, or is this something that is externally happening to me? Like you mentioned, if it's a sunny day versus a cloudy day, if you had a conversation and your best friend just said they got in a car accident, well, that's going to affect you emotionally, but it's not something that happened to you. It happened externally to someone else that you care about. So those are just good emotional things to be aware of. Is it internal? Like, is it something you're feeling, or is it something externally that's going on that's also affecting you? And then how do
Yeah.
you interact to get yourself to a balanced, grounded place?
So when you think about stress, my immediate thought was, as I always loved how my mom always put this. She always said, if there's something that's not feeling right in your system, you have the choice on changing that. How
Mm-hmm.
do you wanna do this? Do you need to go for a swim, take a walk, or is it watching your favorite sitcom or something and eating what something not so right for you just to
Mm-hmm.
take yourself to that? And I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, how many times I think about those things," because I created my AFT roll-on, I've created different things of that sort that can help me through it. But there's some days where I just wanna curl up and just not deal with it, right? For today.
Understandable. We all have those days, and it is okay to not feel happy, springy, sunny day all the time. Because what's
Right.
interesting is if you think of a pendulum, you have your really high happy times and you have like your low, really sad times. And if we don't ever experience the lows, how will we ever know what the highs are? No, I'm not
True.
talking about mood swing, mood swing, mood swing. That's not the healthiest place to be if you're really bouncing around all the time. But there are those times where something happens in our life or those around us, and we get to kind of that low or that sad or that unhappy or slightly depressed, and that's different than like chronic depression kind of a thing. But how do we know when we're just really good and we're really happy and things are going well and etc., if we can't experience all of the gamuts of emotion? And so, at least in my life, I try not to shy away from feeling emotion. We don't want to block it out or separate it from us, but
You gotta let
we
it
want
move
to be
through,
aware
right?
of, pardon.
You gotta move through it, right?
Yes,
Sometimes you
yes, moving through it rather than being stuck in it. Absolutely. And especially, we don't want to be stuck in the lows too long. My
Right.
personality is to be happy and joyful and sunny. That's just my predisposition. Some people and their personality, that's not their predisposition. And for my character, it's a little hard to be around those people if they're the gloomy days every day of the year. But
Right?
what's beautiful is we can even do things like using some of our emotional focused oils on those days when we're just a little sadder than we usually are. And
Right.
it's a huge blessing to have access to them and have that as a resource.
So I have to say today, talking with you and going through this assessment, I'll say I'm at a 5 today, but there's sometimes I've hit a 2.5.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like And those 2.5 days is where I have to reassess and just
Hmm.
go within and take more time with the Lord and do
Yeah.
those caring things for my body.
Yes. Good. So you understand that that's what you need to do. You need to take time, assess, journal, pray. All those things are wonderful to do. Use some of the essential oils. Grounding is good, present time. Um, Now I feel like we're getting into teaching as we're doing the assessment. So, oh my goodness. this is going to be long for anyone that's
Yeah,
watching.
you know
I
what? And I'm
apologize.
okay
Maybe
with
we
that
do a
because
we could do a version 2 that's like a speed through it, and then because we are doing a bit of teaching interwoven in this, and so hopefully whoever watches this is helpful for you. But yeah,
it's a needed just talking through, I think, each question to give people the comprehension of what really could happen and bring out some things in people. So
mhm.
honestly, I think we're doing fantastic.
Good, good. And so usually I'll mention this, the flow, when I do an assessment is kind of the intro, talking with them. I have them just sit and fill it out without me talking or looking at it at all. I just have them fill it out, which
Okay.
then after that, we will talk about their answers, right?
Oh, good. So we're
And
doing a
then I
two in
write
one.
notes. So what we're actually doing right now is we're filling it out and talking about your answers at the same time,
Okay.
which isn't bad, but I think that just happened by default because we're wonderful people that love to talk. So we just jumped right into step 2. Oh
Exactly.
my goodness. So yeah, so step 1 is have them fill it out. Step 2, you read through it as the facilitator and ask them deeper questions about any specific areas that you want to get more understanding for
Okay.
them. And then you can start to recommend products. Now,
Okay.
Debbie, you asked me about if someone uses like the Itovi or
Yes.
the other scanner. What I would do is I would have them fill out the wellness assessment. I would have them do the scan and then talk about it. And then rather than so what we're doing right now is we're doing the assessment, we're talking about it, and we're talking about products. You want to do
Right.
the scan before you talk about products because the
Okay.
scan is
So
going to
after
bring
we
up,
discuss,
yeah, so the scan is going to bring up products that it recommends. And what you don't want to do is go through the assessment, talk about it, and recommend products, and then the scan comes up with different products than you recommend.
so do the scan, the Zyto or the Etiology after part two.
Yeah, yeah. So have them fill
Okay.
it out
Perfect.
and talk about it, have them do the scan, and then look over the products.
And if they don't have either one of those, then you just continue on with part three.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Good, good, good.
Awesome.
That's how to incorporate it
We're
in
good to
there.
go on this.
Yeah. Okay. So number 4, well, we talked about that. How often do you wake up tired? Um, not too often.
Right. Actually, I've been doing much better since I've been doing my Ninja Red Reset stuff. I've noticed that
Awesome.
sleeping is better and harder, which has
Okay.
been great.
Good.
Um, but those days when I have forgotten, and you know how we do with our supplements, we take
Hmm.
them, and then if we kind of forget and you
Hmm.
fall, all of a sudden you wake up tired and you go, "Oh, what didn't I do the last couple days?"
For sure, for sure. Yes. There you go. Okay. So you know what helps you and helps keep you energized. And then if you wake up not so energetic, you wonder, what have I missed? What did I forget? Or
And
what would
it's
be the other?
funny how yes, exactly. I could have went a little bit further into this detail, but I won't. If it pops up again, I'll be sharing, but
Okay.
it's so funny because I get that.
Okay. Good. So how many hours of sleep do you get a night?
That is very interesting. I feel like lately I've been all over the board. I because sometimes I've been feeling like falling asleep so early, and then I wake up like because I'll sleep at 8 or 9 o'clock, and I'll wake up at 2 o'clock going, "Oh, you've had appropriate amount of sleep," and I'm thinking, but it's still dark out.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So, that's a
So
very
it
good
varies.
questionable moment because there's sometimes I've had solid, and if I'm doing solid sometimes, I think I'm doing my hormones and my raindrops at night, and then if I forget, I have intermittent, which I'm just now realizing as I'm talking through this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's what comes to mind is that hormones can affect sleep and cause us to wake up, in the middle of the night type of thing. The 3 a.m.er, the I wake up at 3 a.m. and I can't fall back asleep is usually related to hormones.
wow.
Yeah.
So they're different, like, at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, a different, reason why you wake up then too sometimes?
Honestly, it would probably be about the same cause, and it's probably depending on what time a person goes to bed. Some go to bed at 9 p.m., some go to bed at 11 p.m. So it's that cycle of you get a few hours of sleep and your body goes, "Hello, I'm ready for the day." No, you're not.
I've had some of those moments where I just wake up and going, "Okay, I'm not getting back to sleep. I might as well get up and journal because apparently either the Lord's gonna talk to me or else I just gotta get this energy out so I can go back to sleep."
There you go. There you go. So naps during the day, if you're able to. Sleep is one thing that can absolutely affect emotions, immune system, the people around us, etc. So sleep is so important.
When you talk about naps, now, I've never been a big napper, and
Hmm.
when I used to nap, it would be like I would have to do an hour and a half in order to get a good solid sleep,
Hmm.
to do the 10 p.m. sleep to get up at 6. And it's interesting because if I do like, all of a sudden I'm so tired, I will fall asleep for a short period of time, and then I don't have any issues going to bed right away.
Hmm.
But it's just been intermittent. It's just not been consistent, and I have not nailed down why yet.
Hmm. Very interesting. So you can take short naps, but then sometimes they're 90-minute naps, an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of them could be like, all of a sudden, Craig will go, "You just fallen asleep, but then you just woke up and it was 20 minutes." And I'm going, "That was unusual." I don't sometimes I'll feel well rested, and other times I'm going, "I don't wanna go back to sleep because I wanna sleep
Mm.
at night."
Hmm.
So it's a fine balance of I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel like I'm in this I don't know stage right now, and I
Okay.
have not pinpointed that yet.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, we will keep that in mind as we're going through this. And
Okay,
I don't have any exact solutions for that because
okay,
that's, something I've talked to a few folks with, and their nap patterns are just very different. It's not like they can be the 20-minute nappers. There's some people that are 20-minute nappers and they get up and they're good. Others, if I set a 20-minute timer, sometimes I'm great. Sometimes I hit snooze 3 times. And part of that, though, if a person has the luxury of time in their day, it may just be that you need to listen to your body.
okay. I
So
was wondering
that's
about
kind of
that.
my rule of thumb is if the person has the luxury to do that, listen to your body. If it says sleep and hit snooze, we'll do it. Don't do it because you're sad or depressed and you don't want to get up, but do it because, it like if that's the case, if you're just avoiding the rest of your day, you probably need to get up and do something. Right? There's those
Right.
instances. But if I'm great, but I just feel like I need to rest more. If you have the luxury of time to do that, then do it because as human beings, I think that we have gotten into this schedule, this Americanized schedule of you wake up, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you work 9 to 5, you come home, you do what you do in the afternoon. And, that's more of the office work style. I know your life is very different than that. Probably mine is very different than that because I could be in 3 different locations throughout a work day, depending on if I'm working at mom's, working at the coffee shop, at my house, meeting somebody for coffee, going to the gym, and I end up signing somebody up at the gym. It varies. And so that is why, thankfully, I feel like you and I probably have more of the luxury of time than some others that have to be at a work location.
It's interesting you bring that up too, because I've been praying over that and being very thankful that the Lord provided this type of business for me because when I am exhausted, I don't have to worry about somebody telling me I have to push through it
Yeah.
and then not getting a good quality work. I can just like, okay, time off
Hmm.
and then get back to it tomorrow.
Yeah, it is a blessing. Absolutely. Um, and that comes
And
with,
I think, I'm sorry, that
well,
comes with what?
so healthy boundaries, sleep and nap time and work hours. We really have to set healthy boundaries, whether that's just a stable set of boundaries that you keep. I am not going to work after 7 p.m. at night. Or maybe it's I have 2 nights a week that I'm going to allow myself to work, which could be creating a graphic, a document, taking a phone call of someone that works during the day so they can't do a wellness appointment during the day and you schedule them at night. But make sure you're getting rest, you're being restful in the afternoons, and you're spending time with a spouse or family or children or friends. Personally, I know for me, that's been a struggle because at nighttime, I'm like, well, there's not a scheduled event. Maybe I'll just keep working. Right. And it's like, let's cram in and let's get this project done. And so there has to be that healthy balance. And yeah, we just have to do it. It's not easy, but you'll figure it out what those parameters are. It's case by case. So I would do some kind of like pseudo business counseling, life coaching with a person if that was a
Okay.
specific issue they had is how do I schedule my day? How do I
Right,
make sure that I get rest
exactly.
at night? That's a whole nother topic we won't go into today.
Right.
Okay, so number 6, how many times a week do you exercise and for how long?
So, since we did this wonderful thing with strength and vitality um, challenge we did a while back, I've got myself into at least 20 to 30 minutes, at least 3 times a week, if I can pull it off. And sometimes they're like quick 15, 20 minutes if I'm able to.
Good.
So I've been doing much of that. And quite honestly, sometimes I'm actually just out around the house, just moving and cleaning things. So
Yes.
I'd say that's doing pretty good.
Yes, yes. Honestly, I like to talk about movement more than working out or exercising because movement counts as exercise. Movement counts as a workout, especially if you're cleaning your garage and moving bins or doing yard work. I mean, I've gotten more sore from 45 minutes of yard work than I have by going to the gym. So it's legit. I,
Wow. I
I
guess
do
I never
think
thought
though,
of it that way.
yeah. Oh my goodness. 2 weeks ago, I literally woke up so sore. And I'm like, why? I haven't even worked out. And I realized that I took 11 wheelbarrow fulls of dirt from the back of my pickup truck down into my raised garden bed. And I was feeling it.
Wow.
Down a hill, skidding it to a stop, dumping it in there, shoveling it all around. And so
I give you
was like,
kudos
wait,
for
how
that.
many squats did I actually do yesterday? This is way better than a gym workout.
Right?
If birds chirping instead of rock music playing, I'm down with that too.
Right? Good old
Oh my
nature.
goodness. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
And something I would mention about exercise is do exercise that you know your body's capable of and do exercise that you enjoy because you may not actually get as good of a workout in an environment or doing specific physical exercises that you don't enjoy. You may not have the as good a physical benefits from that as doing movements and exercises you enjoy in a healthy emotional state of mind.
So if you were to put it that way, then if I were to be sharing this with someone new, I would say, what are your fun activities of things that you enjoy doing of cleaning house or hobbies that you enjoy that are very active?
Yes, yes. Because something like kayaking, you can row really quickly and get a phenomenal upper body, back, core workout by just rowing a kayak. And so that was part of my exercise plan last summer is I would bike on Monday, I would kayak on Tuesday, I'd go to the gym on Wednesday, Thursday I would take a walk, and Friday I would do something else.
Oh, wow. Now that's a great idea. I never thought of that, Elizabeth. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Even I love the background that you have is on the beach. And so, for instance,
Yeah,
you're going to look a little weird to the onlookers, but I really don't care about that. When I'm walking down the beach or down like a path, where people are exercising, doing your arm circles. Literally, if you do 10 forward arm circles, or 20, and then backward and then up and down and then side to side. And you get to 50, if you can get to 50 total or 100,
yeah.
like 100, da, 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 whatever it is. Oh my goodness. That is a really good shoulder back core workout.
Wow. Or doing yoga on the beach too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or like lunges, squats, the running side to side, moving your feet around. I will totally look like a dork out and about. I don't care. If it's a beach or a walkway where people are exercising, that's what they're out there for. So no shame.
Well, so when you're indoors, I think during the wintertime, I would more suggest someone to maybe pick up bands or something that they can
Yes.
do if they can't get out.
For sure, absolutely. And there's so many body weight exercises you can do. You don't even need to pick up a weight or buy a weight set. Some people love it, and that's awesome. I had a massive weight set in my garage for a while, and I loved it. But now that I don't, it's a lot of free weight stuff. It's push-ups on the walls, etc. So
Awesome.
that's something that if a person does want to incorporate talking about working out in their wellness assessment, we can take a little bit of time um, to do that if that's helpful, or schedule another session. If they really need help knowing, okay, what are the things I do not want ingredient wise in the things I shop for? We'll set up a little time to talk about that. We can set up a time to talk about their workout regimen. We can set up a time to really dive deeper into emotions. But
I think that is beautiful, being able to set this wellness thing up at the beginning and then break down those 5 core things of
mhm,
how to help them in deeper modes.
yeah,
That is beautiful.
yeah, absolutely. What I'll say is Um, you could do this in 30 minutes if you're speeding through it. You can do it in an hour and a half, you know, but
Like what we're about gonna have to.
I know we're incorporating a lot of education and training into this. So
Yes, which I
okay,
think is beautiful.
but feel it out with a person, but don't go too long. That's probably one of the worst things you can do is take too long on this assessment, talk about too much, and they leave and they're just overwhelmed. They're like, I know I got some products, we talked about a bunch of stuff, I don't remember any of it. You don't want that to happen.
Okay, good.
So,
Good to know.
Debbie,
That's
you
our
and I know a
disclaimer,
lot.
right?
Yeah, folks facilitating know probably a lot more about the products and health things than the person sitting across from us, right? But we don't have to tell them everything we know in one sit down.
Like, just drip a little bit at a time.
Exactly. Yep. Just a little drip at a time. Make them want to come back for more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kind of speed through these. Number 7 is rate your mental clarity throughout the day.
I'd have to say I'm feeling pretty good about that part to
Okay.
where it's like I can get up and do something healthy and stuff, and I'm moving through and I'm just getting things ready.
Okay.
I think the clarity thing is when I don't get enough good sleep. It's like
Okay.
then all of a sudden I get that mind fog, like, oh shoot, I didn't sleep well, so what the heck do I do today?
Yep. Yep. Totally understandable. I was like that yesterday. I got 3 hours of sleep, and come 6 p.m., my body's like, you need to sit down and watch a movie. I'm like, but no, I got to do this, this, and this, and unpack for my
Right?
camping trip. And I thought, why am I so tired? Oh, wait, my body is telling me I only gave it 3 hours of sleep last night. No wonder.
Whoops.
What a life. So, moving on, number 8, are you at your ideal weight? And number 9 is, what is your ideal weight?
Well, it's interesting this getting brought up now because, throughout the winter time, I wasn't, and when we started doing our strength and vitality training and stuff, I was not. I was much heavier, and throughout all this exercise, eating better and stuff that we've been incorporating all these different special challenges,
Okay.
it started to get me ready for my springtime, and I'm almost down to my ideal high school weight, which
Con-
I told my husband, "I can't believe I'm at here." It was
Wow.
amazing.
Yes, congratulations. Good job.
Well, thank you. For those that are not there yet, though. I do know that I'm sure we will have some wonderful products that will help them through that because of what I've experienced and dealt with. But yeah, that was a challenge. And I got to tell you, it doesn't come off easily, people. This
Mhm.
is going to be a step by step
Yes,
peeling away
it is a
the onion.
process for sure. Yep. And
I'll tell
it's a
my husband,
balance.
yeah, exactly that
Mhm.
you really do need to go. Give yourself grace. If you get rid of a pound a week, that is a yay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because importantly, you want to do it healthily and get yourself into a really good mindset and a really good sustainable program. I'm not a
Yes,
huge fan of super fast weight loss. It's better to put in place, I'm trying to think of the word, but the oh my goodness, when you create
a
oh
routine.
a routine. Yes. Yes. You're retraining your body and your mind, and you're creating a routine that then helps you over time, let go of the weight. I like to call it letting go of weight rather than losing
Oh,
weight, because I feel
okay.
like it can be a conscious thing that we just tell our body, okay, body, thank you for doing what you did to store this weight, whether it was because, I was giving myself too much of something and it had to hold on to it, whether it was stress or emotions or whatever, that caused me to hold on to this. But I am allowing you now to release this weight. I thank you for taking good care of me. And I just say that I release this weight and I don't need to carry anything that is unhealthy for me, um, or any trauma or any emotions that is stored in fat. So, okay, little mini training about this, but we store toxins in fat cells. And oftentimes when a person is losing weight, we actually store emotions in all of our body, and emotions can be stored in organs, or I don't think the scientific way to say is that emotions are stored in fat cells, but people do tend to experience emotional release while they are losing weight.
Wow. That
So,
I've never heard or
yeah,
known about. Okay.
yeah. So, having some focus on the emotional aspect of our physical being while allowing the body and telling the body to let go of what it doesn't need to hold on to in the form of weight, is a really powerful, positive way to look at it.
Alrighty then. I will
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, yeah. And also the mindset of you're not punishing your body for being overweight. It has done what it needed to because of what, either you've given it or what it's been dealt with. And so
Right.
treating the body really well as you're helping your body release anything that it doesn't need to be holding on to any longer. So you're releasing the fat cells that you don't need. You're releasing the toxins you don't need. You're releasing the emotions you don't need. You're even asking yourself for forgiveness for putting things in that weren't healthy for it. Saying, body, I'm so sorry for doing things that have negatively affected you. Thank you for taking care of me. Now I choose to release those things. You don't need to hold on to it any longer.
Cool. I love that. I'm gonna start that mantra.
There you go. Thank you, body, for serving me well. Now you're allowed to release this fat. I don't need this little extra layer of pudge right now. So appreciate your service, but let's go ahead and find you a new home.
Yeah,
Doesn't need to be hanging on to me any longer.
right? Exactly. Oh,
Oh
that's
my
funny.
goodness gracious. Yeah. So there may be some of that, mindset incorporated into talking about weight. Yeah.
Excellent.
And honestly, I would more so say for your initial wellness consultation, if weight is an issue for someone, rather than teaching them first, ask them how they view their weight, how they view their
Oh,
body. Get into their emotional space of what do they believe about their body? What do they believe about their worth? Because some people, if they don't value themselves enough, they just don't take care of their physical health. They're worried about everything else until they start getting aches and pains and have to go up a few sizes in clothing, and they go, "Oh my goodness, now this is an issue." But it really stemmed from they maybe valued other things more so than they valued taking care of their body. And that's what kind
I
of caused
wonder,
it there.
I feel like that a lot times that when I know I feel like when I'm going to be doing this, it will be one of those moments where it's asking and listening and really getting down to the deep core onion
Hmm.
part of what's really happening.
Hmm. And that would be what I would say with this whole assessment is help to get into their space of w- what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what their, emotional connection is with all this, rather than going into teaching mode too much, because it's helpful to know where they're at first to then see
Yep.
what you may need to correct or
Okay.
help them, come into a different understanding of. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. So number 10 and 11 is when was the last time you felt really good, energetic, happy to get up in the morning and excited about the day?
Today,
Yay! Good. Good, good, good. I love it. I love it. We got all sorts of answers for this. So number 11 is how would you change your life if you could feel that way again?
wow. Um, how would that change my life? It would just be exceptional if I mean, being able to be happy and enjoying every day that the Lord provides, daily and not being negative is breathtaking. Like,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So, you may say something positive like, I choose to make any changes that I know are necessary for me to feel my best possible. That would be kind
Oh,
of a positive affirmation to say there.
gotcha. Yes.
Um,
I
yeah.
like the positive affirmation part. That is so true.
Yeah. What's really interesting is a lot of times by the time I get to 10 and 11, a person has gone through this. Oh my goodness. I just assessed myself and like 50% of the time when a person fills this out and gets to that number 10, when was the last time you felt really good, energetic? I've had some people put 5 years ago. I felt like
Oh my.
5 years. I haven't been at my ideal weight. I've been slightly depressed. I feel overworked. I don't get enough sleep. And so when they get to 11, how would you change your life to feel your best again? They just write anything, help me. I'm talking 50% of the time. People are like
Wow.
in desperation mode when they end up going through this assessment and taking a real life, look at how they're doing.
I know I'm a unique person when it comes to this whole interview thing, but I just really wanted to throw out a lot of different things for you because you know what? Everybody's gonna go through it all so differently, and I
Mm-hmm.
know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess the thing too is I don't say that in a judgy way
Right,
because l- there's so many circumstances right now externally that would make anyone's life really hard. Whether it's
right.
finances, stuff going on in the world, family challenges, etc. So I don't say that in a judging way, and I wanted to say that for anybody listening. but it's kind of like the sad reality of where we've gotten to as a, as humanity. Is it saddens me that there are so many people not feeling well and not doing well.
Exactly. I
And
hear you.
that's where I'm so happy to be in the industry that I am and get to help. And a lot of times that's just done with grace and a lot of understanding and realizing you're not going to fix everything they're going through in the first month of them using our products. That's why we get to really handhold and just be there for someone. And I think most importantly, just love them through their journey, love them, in their journey, through their journey, um, is so powerful to help give a person confidence that yes, they can feel better. They can do better.
And in that case of with what you're sharing with is when I go to do these assessments, I feel I'm going to start off by taking the first step of doing one with that person, listening, taking the notes, asking the deep questions and stuff, and then give them some. I know we're going to go through a multiple different suggestions of supplements that people can have examples for. But when we go through these, give them 1 or 2 ideas and not a whole bunch, so
Mm-hmm.
that way they can hone in, and then I think after I do that, I'm gonna give them a couple weeks to just get their stuff started, and
Mm-hmm.
then say, "Okay, are we ready to start with some physical stuff?"
Mm-hmm.
And then give that a couple weeks, and then, "Okay, let's start on next on the emotion." By
Mm-hmm.
that time, you're 5 weeks in, and we can start walking through those layers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 absolutely. It's just like if you were to make changes in a relationship, for instance. When you're dealing with another person and you're letting them know, hey, I want to make these changes in how I relate to you, how we hang out, how we go about our conversations. It takes time in that instance to change and shift how you two go about things, right? If you're trying to figure out how to discipline a child. It's going to take maybe a few months to figure out, okay, what's their personality? How are they dealing with this issue that keeps coming up? How are we going to work with it? So I kind of view our health as the same thing, is you're learning your body. And a lot of people don't know how to listen to their body. So that is a big part of it. When someone first comes on the natural scene of things, you've gotten good at this, Debbie, but helping a person listen to their body, take notes of how they're feeling when they do certain things, and just giving them grace throughout the time and the process that it takes. Yeah.
I I feel and I can understand your heart with that when it comes to this is just the beginning layer to walk through all the other stuff through the journey because this feels like it's going to be a 4-month process of slowly walking through. And I think that's brilliant because nobody changes
Yeah.
their routine or anything with their life unless they have some health coach
Mm-hmm.
that is walking them slowly through it in a handheld, holding them and saying, "You got this. Look what you accomplished this week.
Yeah.
Way to go."
Yeah. How are you feeling? What are you doing? Did you enjoy the thieves that you tried for your immune system? What was the smell? Yeah, XYZ. I mean, there's so many ways we can really connect with a person. But I do recommend after doing this assessment, after they get their products, that's not the end
Okay,
all. That's just the beginning. It's a great
gotcha.
starting place for them. So what I love about the assessment is it makes us seem as wellness coaches very reliable and credible. Credible is the word. So, by
Okay,
handing this to someone, it lends us credibility of, hey, I really can help you. Go ahead and fill this out. Let's talk through it. So
excellent.
already, if they choose to do this step, it lends you the credibility. And if they give you access to continue following up with them and walking along the journey with them, you're going to see results for them, which is like one of the biggest bonuses that we get. But the other bonus is the more you're consistent and help them, they're going to be needing different products from Young Living, and they're going to figure out the ones they want to put on their loyalty reward every month. And so you really can gain a lifetime customer by being consistent and loving them well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, good
Are we
stuff.
going into part three?
Part three. Here we go. Okay. I feel like if we post this on YouTube, maybe we do part one, part two, part three.
Right, exactly. I'm
um,
already making a note of it, so I'm gonna put it all up and then I'll break it up later on for
there you
others
go.
for later.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So we did part one, which was just filling out the assessment. We did part three, which was talking through it. And now let's go ahead and do part three, which is talking about the specific products that could be a help. Okay, awesome. So I would say something like, well, one thing you may already know by this point of the assessment is, has someone ever used any products from Young Living before? Have they used essential oils before? You're going to know via the question about supplements if they're currently using any supplements from a different source. And then asking them the question, if so, would you be interested in seeing what Young Living has that's comparable to what you're currently taking, and switch over to the Young Living version of that supplement versus another source that you're getting it at? So because
Yeah,
that's what we call, oh my goodness, transfer buying. If they
yeah,
already buy it at HEB, Walgreens, Walmart, whatever, okay, can you transfer buy that to Young Living? Because then their budget just goes from there over to here. And
right.
it doesn't look like an added thing to their budget. That's also something that I talk with a person about when we go into budget, is like Ningxia Red, for instance. If they wanted to add Ningxia Red, but they look at the price tag on it and go, oh my goodness, that's so expensive. Well, you ask them, are there things you're currently purchasing that aren't necessary? For instance, yes, we love coffee. A lot of individuals enjoy coffee. However, a latte could be $2.50 versus a frappuccino is $8. How many frappuccinos do you buy per week? If you're, a Ningxia Red comes out to like a dollar roughly per ounce. So if you're doing, $2 a day drinking 2 ounces of Ningxia Red, or maybe 4 ounces a day drinking Ningxia Red, well then, okay, what else are you buying that you can just cut out? Because it's part of the solution to your health is you're getting rid of the toxins, excess sugars, fake sugars, sodas, things like that, potato chips. So if they want to start on Ningxia greens, well then don't go buy potato chips 3 times a week, or Rice Krispies, or your Snickers bar, or whatever. So there's always things that they can cut out in their budget that they're just used to having in their budget, but you cut that out and you add in the good stuff, especially for someone who's worried about adding extra cost to their budget. If they're not worried about adding extra cost, well, great, get this, but also let's work on eliminating anything that you don't need. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love all that, the way you described all that. Go ahead.
Good. I'm going into teaching mode right now because I think whoever watches this as a teaching tool will be able to implement these tips as they're going through the assessment with someone. So just
Which is beautiful.
be intuitive. Okay. So let me look here. Um, well, so Debbie, let me just go ahead and ask you. You've used a lot of the Young Living products so far, you have, but let's pretend that you haven't, and you know a little bit about essential oils, and you maybe take a multivitamin periodically, but we're going to assess the body systems from that perspective of like, you're
Okay.
not currently
Yep.
doing anything. Does that sound good for the sake of
Yes.
teaching this today?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
I got my mindset. I'm back to before I started Young Living. So
You're
here we
back to
go.
being a newbie. There you go. Okay. So Debbie, what's really cool as we now have done your assessment and we're looking at, what are some great solutions that you can get started with? I'll go into Young Living actually has several different aspects to our product line. You've probably heard that we have essential oils, and that's one thing that we are most known for. Young Living started with their essential oils and a few supplements. And then has grown a full line of supplements and things like protein powders and even their household cleaner and toothpaste and deodorant and some einkorn food products, some skincare products.
Really do have it all, don't they,
It's
Elizabeth?
amazing, amazing. We
Wow.
have things for infants and children and pets. And so, what I want to do today is not overwhelm you because we don't need to look at the
Okay.
whole product guide.
All right.
However, um, I would love to just pinpoint a few specific things that I think could be really helpful for you pertaining to your wellness assessment. And
Okay.
if you like the idea of what we talk about, then we can, look into getting those products. I can share the prices with you. We can make sure that what you get today is in your budget. But also what I love to do with customers is really help you come up with a 90-day plan. So as we're
Okay.
talking about this right now, let's not think about it as just your one-time order and it's going to fix everything. If you're open
Okay.
to it, I'd love to work with you for 90 days and then do some follow-ups after that to really make sure that you're getting the results that you want and need. Because, as many studies have shown, it takes the cells of our body time to actually retrain themselves. Some people say it takes us 4 months to retrain the cells of our body, right? There's
Right down to the
29 days.
DNA level.
Pardon me, say that again.
Right down to the DNA level.
Exactly, exactly. And the beautiful thing is that essential oils actually do affect the DNA of our body. It is absolutely amazing. There's this wonderful lady, Terry Seacrest, who wrote a small little booklet about the essential oils mentioned in the Bible. And of course, frankincense and myrrh, we know, were used by many people, 2, 3 thousand years ago. And so essential oils have been around a really long time. And in that book, it talks about the specific naturally found constituents in essential oils and the ones that can actually go. And if your DNA has been corrupted in some way, it goes and it helps unwrite the corruption. And then there's other oils that go and help to rewrite it correctly and help the cells of our body and the DNA structure, start functioning well as it should be. And so, yes, there are some scientific studies about it. That's not specifically FDA uh, compliant to say per se. However, I love sending a person to, if they want to do more research on their own, PubMed is a really good place to go to because those are scientific research studies. That's not just a Google search that you find different people's blogs on, which is okay. You can find some basic information by searching Google, but
Right.
look for some of the really deep studies if you're like one of those geeky people and you want to get all into it. It's amazing to see what's out there. Just go search frankincense and cancer. There you go.
Oh,
That's a
there you
fascinating
go.
study. Orange essential oil and oh my goodness, I'm trying to think. Orange and healthy cells. Something we like to
Oh,
talk a lot about is healthy cell regeneration. And so that's
interesting.
a wonderful way of wording. Healthy cell regeneration is, how we word something, for instance, when you would use frankincense for that
Okay.
purpose and orange, for that purpose. Um, it's kind of the code word for go and check out what else it's capable of doing. So
Wow.
healthy cell regeneration.
Okay. Thank you for that.
There we go. There we go. All righty. So, what we can do is, as we go through this, we're going to see, would there be some essential oil that would be helpful for it? Would there be a supplement that would be helpful for it? Or maybe even something like the Ningxia Red that could be helpful.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it may be a combination, of different things.
Right.
So let's see. Teaching moment here is, it's good to try to get a feel for the person as far as how in depth they're willing to go. If,
Oh,
and you might even ask them, or they might even tell you, I really don't have time to be taking supplements 3 times a day. I am willing to do something once a day. If that's what they say, you fit within those parameters. You can try to push it, try to recommend that they do something morning and night, but ultimately they're only going to do what they're going to do. And
and that's
it's
it.
hard to
And
push the envelope too much.
it's so interesting you say that because there's so many different people I've talked with that some are liquid only, some are supplement only, some are like, okay, just give me one thing and I will try to better myself with it. And
Yep.
it is funny as I'll get up because I will do liquid, chewable, and supplement, but spouse only liquid and
Okay.
very rarely does the supplement. So I'm always having to break open a capsule
Uh-huh. Wow.
or do something of that sort because I know that there's something needed that needs to be added.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a great way of asking them in that form because we need to know from that point of view. What are you
Yeah.
willing to do?
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like how I overviewed what Young Living has, we have essential oils, supplements, health products, skincare things. Let me ask you, is there a certain way that you prefer to take supplements? Do you prefer that it's liquid and water? Are you okay taking capsules? Would you be open to using an essential oil only topically or diffusing or using them internally? Sometimes people have a preference. I'm scared to take them internally, so I'll diffuse them and I'll use them topically. Well, then, okay, we start with that. You warm up to it. And then a few months down the road, you revisit that and say, hey, that copaiba you've been putting on your knee really could be helpful for XYZ if you take the copaiba vitality internally. And then
There you
chances
go.
are they're more warmed up to it, kind of a thing.
Awesome. I
Yeah,
like that idea.
yeah, yeah. And it can go by really quickly saying there's 3 main ways we use essential oils. We use them topically, aromatically, using the diffuser, smelling it, and internally. Young Living has 40 oils with the vitality label that are safe to take internally in small amounts, just 1 to 2 to 3 drops. Every once in a while, we'll do more than that for very specific cases. And so, we could talk about how to incorporate essential oils into your wellness protocol in those 3 ways. And then usually they'll tell you, cool, I'm down. Just tell me what to do. Okay, well then awesome. But if they have a specific thing, then we go along with it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Um,
could almost imagine having to set up a schedule, calendar time too, because when you're doing all these different variety of core things,
mhm,
they're gonna also go, where do I find time to do this to
mhm,
take care of my health?
yeah. You don't want to make it overwhelming. Um,
Correct.
yeah. Yeah. There have
And
been
we're
a few
not even
times.
getting into the supplement shit. And I'm just realizing, wow, this person's probably thinking, ooh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, yeah, and they're probably dollar sign, we're worried about
Yeah.
that. And so you want to feel it out and really see what they're able to do. You could even
Okay.
ask them right off the bat, do you have a budget for your health? Because we can try to stay in that budget. If
Oh,
they say $50 a month, you go, well, okay. Would you be able to stretch that a little bit? If they say, no, I don't really have a budget, well, that means, okay, great, but you're probably not going to have them order $600 their first order. you know? So,
That's
um,
called being overwhelmed.
yeah, yeah. What, uh, well, so along those lines, and this either could be when you start talking about the products or after you've mentioned products and then you're starting to talk about the price of it. What I go into is I do share with a person that, you know, when your order today is over 100 PV, which is product value, then Young Living automatically locks you in to their discounted pricing, which is 24% less than retail pricing. You know, if you were to purchase just one oil today, you could try it. However, you're going to pay the retail price, the full price. So what I would love to help you do is come up with a little starter bundle for you. That is what you need. And we can have it be over that 100 PV so that you get our discounted pricing for life. You know, all you have to do is order once a year to keep your membership, and it's so easy because you can just go to youngliving.com, use your member number and password to log in, and you can place orders anytime you need to. So that's the
Awesome.
basics of it. Now, I will share that we have an amazing, amazing loyalty reward program.
Ooh,
And what this enables you to do is get points back on every single order you do.
really? Instead of going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what to do with their free gift card?
Exactly. Exactly. So what happens is for month 1, 2, and 3, the Young Living takes the PV of your order. You want to be sure you look at PV, not dollar amounts, but look at the PV of the order. And if it's 100 PV, you know, they take 10% of that, which would be 10 points, which basically equals $10, and they put it in a piggy bank. So for month 1, 2, and 3, they take 10% of the PV of your order and put it in a piggy bank. Coming month 4, it goes to 20%. So for month 4 to 24, you're earning 20% back in reward points. So if your order is 100 PV, well, that's awesome. That means 20 points of each order goes into your piggy bank. You know, if it's a 200 PV order, well, that's $40, 40 points that's going into your piggy bank. So it really starts to add up quickly. And how you use those points is you just do a one-time order where you add things to your shopping cart. And when you go to check out, it says, how do you want to pay for it? You know, you could do a credit card, PayPal, but you say, use my loyalty points. And then you just select the products that you want to pay to purchase using your reward points. So
Nice.
that is a fun program. On top of that, though, in month 2, they give you a free diffuser. So that's right there worth like $35. And they also give you free gifts in month 2 is the diffuser, month 3, month 6, and month 9. So, and then the
Wow.
year they send you like a thank you. So it really is an amazing reward program. And I think that once we talk about your products today, what's going to be so fun is that you can actually earn extra freebies. So like if you're on loyalty rewards and your order's over 100 PV, they automatically give you something for free. If your order's over
Awesome. We
190,
love
250,
freebies.
or 300, you know, you automatically get extra freebies. So because what we're
Wow.
really looking at doing, right, is doing this 90-day program. And so I personally think that doing the loyalty rewards would be a great option for that because of all the benefits and stuff you get.
Right.
And then at the end of the 90 days, we discuss it again and we come up with your next action plan. So how
All
does that
right.
sound?
I know.
Sound good? Sign you up? Okay, awesome sauce. Well, so going over this, you know, let me actually ask you, do you feel like you'd be more likely taking an essential oil or a supplement or something to drink?
Um, I would probably do more something to drink, but maybe also supplement if I need to.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. That sounds good. So then if we are talking about like your digestive health, for instance, just
Yeah,
going on down the list, we've already talked about just eliminating any foods that you have food sensitivity to. And
right.
um, and then in the case that you know you have some discomfort or whatnot, are you currently taking any enzyme or probiotic? Are you aware of those?
Well, I never thought of how how of a necessity they could be for my health. So no, I haven't.
Okay, okay. Well, that could be something to consider. Young Living
Okay,
has a really good enzyme. It's called Essential Zyme 4.
okay,
So I am just writing that on the back of my page, and you maybe want to write that as well.
okay.
Okay. Essential Zyme 4 works really good for protein, carbohydrates, and fats. So, kind of like thinking of your full dinner meal, is a great way to just help assist your body in processing, all the wonderful things you put in. And
Yes.
so enzymes are great. And then probiotics, here's a question. Have you needed to take any, excuse me, what's the name of it? Hmm, you probably know it. Um, when you get sick and you have to go to the doctor and they're like, we're giving you.
I don't know. Is it the fiber thing? I'm trying to
No,
think
it's
what they used to give me.
wow, brain blank. Um, no, antibiotics. There we go.
Oh, antibiotics. Yes, I used to get those all the stinking time, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." It was a
Okay.
nonstop. Yes.
There we go. Okay. So if
Funny.
if a
Neither
person
one of us been doing that for a while.
right, we haven't used them for so long we forgot what they are. Oh my goodness. Okay. So um if a person has had, needed to or has taken antibiotics anytime within the last even like 3, 4 years, kind of a thing, um, their gut is still probably healing from it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because what an antibiotic does is it kills bacteria in the body, with the purpose of killing any overgrowth of bad bacteria. However, it kills the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So oftentimes the gut is the thing that suffers the most.
Mm,
And so that is why probiotics are wonderful because it's um, the the good bacteria basically that you're replenishing your gut with that we need for healthy digestion and elimination, all those sorts of things. And
gotcha.
so, yeah, yeah. So if I was to say a good probiotic, Young Living has the Life 9 supplement. And that is just a capsule that's super easy to take. It's great to take before bed would be my recommendation because then your body's able to process it all through the night and it's good to take it not necessarily before a meal to just let your body
Okay.
utilize it. Mhm. So the probiotic
Gotcha.
of Life 9 and Essential Zyme during meals are really the top two things I recommend for a person that's starting to work with their gut health and their digestive system at large. Yeah. And now let's move on to skin, hair, and nails. So you mentioned kind of your hair is thinner than it used to be. And so with the skin, hair, and nails, oh my goodness. I do know that there's an amazing woman we know, Terry Seacrest, who started kind of her own experiment with drinking Ningxia Red and Sulfurzan and
Oh,
combining the
really?
Ningxia Red, 2 to 4 ounces of Ningxia Red a day. She usually does four. So she'll do 2 ounces in the morning and four in the afternoon. Because that's
Okay.
also, if you were to think of like drinkable multivitamin, is probably what I would call Ningxia Red. It's just a great place to start if someone wants something simple for their overall, like every body system support, basically. It's full of antioxidants, amino acids, um, and helps with supporting a healthy gut function, normal eye function. I have this nifty little chart here, but there's
Oh,
several great things about Ningxia Red. And so I will,
I like that.
yeah, there we go. Um,
That's
hmm What's really fun is I actually will always have like a printed sheet about Ningxia Red or even the
Okay.
sulfurzyme. There's several products that I keep printed sheets on so that if we're sitting across the table from each other doing a wellness assessment, I just hand it to them and I have them
Oh,
look at
nice.
it.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is the time period, especially if you're in person. Bring your books with you, bring different resources with you. I love flipping through the essential oil desk reference. You can get it at Seeds of Time, THYME, seedsoftime.com has the essential oil desk references. This is a pocket one, but there's full-sized ones as well. And there's just several great books. There's actually one, and I'll say this as a resource. It's called The Miracle of MSM.
Hmm,
Miracle of MSM. It's written by two medical doctors in the 90s. And now the supplement that Young Living has is called sulfurzyme. And so sulfurzyme, the largest ingredient in it, about 85% of it is the MSM white powder. It's a natural sulfur. And then the it includes the Ningxia wolfberries for the purpose of helping it absorb more effectively. So the reason to take sulfurzyme versus just going to get MSM at the store would be that the wolfberry in there actually helps it absorb optimally in the body. Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Now, let me ask you, as far as like the sulfurzyme is a great one for skin, hair, and nails and joints. So I know you had mentioned some
Oh,
things with like joints, and when you get adjusted, you feel like your body gets out of balance quickly. So
okay.
that's actually one that you may want to look at because it's really easy to take the sulfurzyme powder and just add a teaspoon to your Ningxia Red and water first thing in the morning. Or you can
Sweet.
add it to a smoothie. And there's so many amazing uses for it. It's helpful for the peristalsis of the gut as well. So thinking about digestion, um,
Oh,
it'd be helpful for that. And a lot of research has shown that it's good for in the inflammatory response in the body and supporting
oh,
inflammatory response in the body. Yeah.
full of knowledge you are.
Oh my goodness gracious. Sulfurzyme is just one of those products that I don't think we've talked enough about over the years. And just in the last 5 months, I got it on a kick of reading that book. I wrote a blog about it, so I can share that with you if you haven't seen it already. Um, and that's another thing is during this wellness assessment, if there's a specific product you know would be really helpful for them and you have a resource, you could text them a blog, pull it up on your computer, whatever, show it to them. Like 80% of the time when I show them the blog about Ningxia Red or a page or something like this, they read it and go, oh my gosh, yeah, okay, put that on there. I need that. So it's wonderful using some of those extra resources, as well as then
Right.
you're not having to keep everything in your mind. Especially if
Yes.
someone is newer to Young Living, you're getting to know the product line, you're getting to know the languaging of what to say to a person. You don't have to know it all. Please, please, please
Thank you.
know that
Right.
what I am saying today is 26 years of just doing it and using it. And so it rattles off my tongue like that. But do not at all feel like you are inadequate because if all you did, literally, and I would recommend we could even do this is take the wellness assessment, look up an issue in the symptoms portion of the desk reference book and go about it that way because then you're showing them the book and that's kind of validates your personal recommendation about the product. And I love
Oh,
going about it that way. Yeah. Yeah. So using the different resources we have, whatever the books are that you have on hand. I love the desk reference book, but there's several others that you can just pull out and
right.
hey, let's look up this issue and see what it talks about because I really know that this can be helpful for you, but I want to give you a little bit of extra info about it.
Right. That makes sense.
hmm
So they're armed and ready to know.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the Ningxia Red.
Okay.
It's Ningxia red, Ningxia red. And then sulfurzyme, Sulfurzyme. There we go. And you could do a little dash MSM so that you can remember that and maybe go look up MSM. There's tons of resources online talking about MSM.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so let's talk about immune system and then emotions. And so with the immune system, honestly, the Ningxia Red is very supportive of the immune system because of its wonderful antioxidant properties. And you're also getting several essential oils in it. So it comes with the the main ingredient in it is the Chinese wolfberries. It has a few other juices, and then it has lemon, orange, tangerine, and yuzu essential oils. So those oils just have the ability to support the body internally in so many amazing ways, and also just overall be supportive of the immune system. So that's an easy place to start. There are some great essential oils for immune system. Number one, I love the Thieves blend. Thieves or Thieves Vitality, because you can use it topically. We love rubbing it on the bottoms of our feet and down the spine. And that's a great way to just apply the oils so that they have the most benefit to the body. Um, the Vitality Thieves blend is actually what's interesting about Vitality oils is Young Living has 40 of the Vitality oils, right? That say Vitality on the label. The label tells you how to use it internally as a dietary supplement. So adding a few drops to water, to a cup of tea, adding a few drops to a capsule and taking it internally. And so that works great. And then there's the regular bottle. What's it neat though is that it is the same thing in the bottles. It's just different labeling on the bottles and maybe different size of bottles. Like Thieves Vitality comes in the 15 milliliter, which has about 75 to 100 drops in it. The regular Thieves bottle has about 250 to 300 drops in it. you know. And so it's up to you which size of bottle and which version you would like. But I just wanted to at least share that it's the same thing, just slightly different labeling. So when I talk about taking an oil internally, I'll talk about Vitality. However, because that's currently the most FDA compliant way to talk about using oils internally. The Young Living website, I'll say this for us as brand partners, whatever it says on the website about an oil, whether it's Vitality or not, whatever it says on, the non-Vitality version of the website is what you can tell a person. So I know that there are a few oils that even though it's not the Vitality oil, now the website is talking about internal uses. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is.
Life. Thank you, Jesus. Our life is getting easier. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness. So for immune system, I'm going to say the Ningxia Red is wonderful. And then if you wanted to just have an essential oil on hand, I would say the Thieves Blend is a wonderful one to start with.
All right.
There's several main immune supportive essential oils, and there's several respiratory supportive essential oils. So talking about respiratory system, I'll just mention it. Um, is the blend called RC, and it stands for respiratory comfort. Love that one. There's also another one called Season Essentials, and that's a pretty new blend, but it's a favorite for people that, have those seasonal respiratory challenges. And it's a phenomenal one to just use topically. Rubbing it, I just like to, when I use an oil topically, for instance, if I wanted to put it on my chest, I just hold my hand out, tip the bottle upside down, and be patient. Because honestly, you can shake it, you can dab it, you can, but it's just like 1, 2, 3, okay. And then you put it on. And then after I apply it topically, I take my hands and just gently rub them together, cup them over your nose, and inhale it because that really helps with the soothing effect of the oil and supporting the respiratory system. So RC, Season Essentials. Other ones for those learning would be Raven, Breathe Again, Roll On are all really good
Okay,
respiratory ones.
awesome.
Hmm. Other immune system ones would be ImmuPower, Longevity. Those are two other really good blends. We also have the Inner Defense capsules, which is great if someone wants immune support, but they would rather take it in a capsule form than using it topically. Or they're fine taking oils internally, but they don't want to have to make their own capsules. Inner Defense is really good for when you're traveling. Just keep it with you. And honestly, I usually take one Inner Defense capsule a day, 1 to 2 a day when I travel, especially if I'm like flying on an airplane and around a lot of people and things like that, just as prevention. Because a lot of this is
Yes,
prevention, like doing the thieves is
yes.
prevention. 3 days before I go on an airplane, I put thieves on the bottoms of my feet at night. And it's just 3 drops. So it's like doop, 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 1, 2, 3 on the bottoms of one foot, 3 drops on the other foot, and oh my goodness, legitimately can really tell a difference. Some people actually tell me that when they put thieves on their feet before they go to bed, they sleep better. I
Huh.
don't figure with that one. But part of it is when we support our immune system, then our body isn't working as hard during our sleeping time. And so we're going to naturally have better rest. So you could
Might
think of
have to
that as
use
well.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Another one is the ImmuPro chewables because
Oh,
ImmuPro is supportive of the immune system. However, it actually has natural melatonin in it. So it's a good one for immune system and sleep support.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also talking about sleep is the
Sleep
sleep
essence.
essence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sleep essence, wonderful supplement for that. Essential oils for supporting sleep include, well, if a person is a bit stressed or anxious before they're going to bed, I love Stress Away, Peace and Calming, Gentle Baby. Things like that are wonderful to diffuse or even just apply topically, kind of a thing. There's the Tranquil Roll On. I'm product dumping right now, so the folks that are listening can get some names of products in my mind. I would never do this when I'm actually filling out the wellness assessment with someone
It
because it
makes
would be way
sense.
too overwhelming.
Right,
Basically, my job is to know this well enough to give them one option.
right.
Yeah.
To work on that one option.
Yep.
And it's interesting because I think I remember walking through like it was, I think somebody said cedarwood, then you do the lavender, then you do the peace calming, then the root of the law. If you haven't been knocked out by the first three, then go for the gun.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. And those are all really phenomenal for helping sleep. So thanks for sharing those. Yeah.
No
Yes.
problem.
Yes, yes.
As
Uh,
I'm trying not to walk back into my young living thoughts.
it's all right. It's okay. Um, so going back to you, we covered immune system. My one recommendation to start was the Thieves Essential Oil because it's so versatile.
Right.
And yes, and it's also supportive of the respiratory system because when we're supporting the overall immune system, that affects the respiratory system. If someone didn't have any respiratory oils specifically, Thieves is still a great one to have on hand and just rubbing it on the chest, you know?
Oh, there you go.
The one slight caution that I do share with people about thieves is that I do a mini explanation and I say, okay, there are some essential oils that are considered hot oils. And so putting just the essential oil on the skin might be a little warm, or it might, have some effect of like itching just a little bit. The hottest essential oil is oregano. And so it is one that I don't really apply topically without diluting it with something like the V6 oil that Young Living has. You could briefly explain what that is. Or you could just use coconut oil or olive oil, kind of a thing. Um, so going back to thieves, with the thieves oil, it actually has cinnamon bark and clove in there. And both of those oils are slightly hotter to the touch of the skin. So generally, on the bottoms of our feet, our skin is really tough. So most people can do thieves on the bottom of their feet without diluting it, and they're fine. Sometimes applying it to the chest because our skin is more softer, more baby-like, it's helpful to dilute the thieves a little bit on the chest.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
es- yeah, especially if they're using it multiple times a day. If somebody's really under the weather, what I recommend is do less drops more often. So doing like 3 drops on the chest every 3 to 4 hours would be better than 10 drops once a day. you know Definitely with thieves
Well,
too, for sure. um so yeah, with thieves personally, if I use it several times a day, I'll get some little bumps. It's not like full on rash or anything, but it can actually help us detox, and it might be a little bit irritating to the skin. So I think if you're going to use it multiple times, go ahead and dilute it, kind of a thing.
yes, that
Thieves
makes
is
sense.
one, personally, I don't put it on my face. Every once in a while, I'll do it on a zit. But like the purification or tea tree oil is good for that too.
Okay, good.
Tea mode. Goodness gracious. Reining it back in. Okay, so we talked about immune system, respiratory system. Let's go
Okay.
into emotions real quickly. Do you feel like your emotional state is affected by sleep, or by is it just overall stuff? Is it stress? How do you feel like your emotions get triggered?
It's interesting. You're right, because emotions can affect, especially during sleep issues. Not appropriate amount of sleep, but then when you input other things that you don't release out, it can really hit you that way as well. And so I think it's a little bit of both variety
Okay.
when it hits.
And gotcha. For training purposes, I might word that differently. I would probably say something like, when we think, what would be a good way to say, um, pertaining to mental and emotional health, what are the areas that you feel like you're most struggling? That may be a
Um,
way to say it.
it's more of a keeping my emotional blow up in check to where I'm just steady listening to somebody and it's going in and out of me faster.
Sure,
Not
sure.
take it on the back.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. So something just general, even like harmony is a wonderful blend. If we're just trying to have that flow of emotion throughout the day and be in harmony with things that are going on around us. That's actually,
Excellent.
yeah, that's actually a great go-to one. And women love the smell. Generally guys are okay with the smell. Valor is also a really good emotional one for men, of course. Um, Men and women, but it helps with the groundedness of being able to really just get through life and feel like you have some grasp of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teaching mode here is when, let me think here. Um, so oil blends we have, for instance, like the feelings kit is a wonderful, wonderful kit. And so that is a great one to have someone use on a regular basis that has, like, you could either say a lot of emotional challenges or just wants to work with their emotions over a period of time. I mean, I don't feel like I have
I
a
like
lot of
that.
emotional challenges, but I still use use the oils and the protocol with the feelings kit. Um,
Right.
oh, it's a great time to find out, do they need something like release to be able to release negative emotions? Do they need something like grounding? Do they need forgiveness? And so oftentimes they'll expound on other little things going on throughout the wellness assessment. And so you'll get an idea for what emotionally essential oil blend may be most helpful for them to start with, or a combination of
Nice.
them. Yeah. That's a little teaching moment there.
There you go. I like that.
So okay. So, last but not least, talking about muscles and bones, tendons getting adjusted. Um, Truly, the Valor blend, if you're open to using something topically, is a wonderful blend to use on the feet and down the spine. And a lot, we have a nickname for it. The nickname is chiropractor in a bottle. And what folks have discovered is using it before getting a massage or a chiropractic adjustment, it just generally helps the body hold that work and last longer and even be easier for the person, doing the body work. So that's a great
Awesome.
one to use before and after different body work, as well as just using it either in the morning or at night. It's not one that'll keep you awake or put you to sleep.
Oh, good. So there's no super glue, huh?
Nope. Won't glue you to your sheets. Oh my goodness. And then I will mention briefly, not that we have to add this today, but for instance, Young Living has a really good supplement called BLM, and that stands for bones, ligaments, and muscles. There's also the Agile supplement that is really good for folks that work out that just want overall support of their joints and muscles. And there's a few other supplements like that. So just keep that in mind, and we can kind of dive into that more a little bit later.
Gotcha.
Well, good. So, how does this feel so far? We've talked about a few essential oils, few supplements. How are you feeling with all this?
It feels obtainable. Like I can go back and do what I need to do to some of them obviously I think um that at a newbie stage, I might just take a couple and try them out for the first month, and if I see some great results, I'm gonna probably add all the rest of them to the next month order, but I think great, but obviously myself, I'm doing most of those anyways.
Good, good, good. Yes, you're on it. You're on it. Okay. So this is so we've talked about Essential Zyme 4. We've talked about the probiotic called Life 9, the Ningxia Red drink, and the Sulfur Zyme, and the Thieves Essential Oil, and RC, and Valor.
Yes.
So, with those specific things, what I would love to do is just go ahead and start a shopping cart for you. And we can look at the price options of those. Because, for instance, like the Ningxia Red, you can either get 2 bottles or the single packets. So, do you think with the Ningxia Red drink, you'll be home and you'll be wanting to just grab it out of your fridge and pour some in a glass? Or would you rather have the single 2-ounce packets that you can be on the go with?
2-ounce packets, portable.
Okay. Okay. Very awesome. Very awesome. Well, Young Living has a really good starter bundle that includes those packets. So I would recommend that
Awesome.
that's a good way to get started, because that packet is it's the Make a Shift, and I forget the exact name for it, but it's the Make a Shift one with the Ningxia Red. Now there's two, because there's
It's
the Ningxia
wellness.
Red Reset, but then there's also the Ningxia Red that comes with a 30 single pack plus Ningxia Nitro, plus I think it's a 2 essential oils.
Yeah, it's the wellness one.
Okay.
Ninja Make You Shift Wellness, I believe. That's what it's called.
Yes, 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 yes. I think you're on it. Yay. And so oftentimes, if a person needs the products within one of our bundles, I go ahead and help them get started with that. Whether it's the
Okay.
Ningxia bundle or the essential oil bundle. Right now we didn't talk about many of the oils in the essential oil bundle. And so I really don't think you need, um, I wouldn't recommend it to you personally to get the essential oil bundle.
The The most interesting question I have for you is if the person is choosing not to do the Ninja Red, which some people don't,
Mhm.
um, would you be able to put like the essential zyme, the probiotic, and maybe the thieves blend together as its own little starter bundle kit? Can you do that?
Yes, absolutely. So what's nice is you do not have to get one of the Make a Shift kits or one of the other bundles. You
Not
can
that I don't do that
absolutely
because I
just,
do.
yeah, yeah. And just the other day, I mean, I did have a gal do 120 PV, and it was just a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. It wasn't a specific starter kit. What's
Okay.
nice with being a brand partner now is you don't get any extra bonuses for selling the kits like we used to. It's actually just you earn 50% of the PV of their first order being their enroller. So
Nice. All
whatever is
right.
on their first order, you earn 50% of the PV.
Good to note.
Yeah. And then in month two, you earn 25%. In month three, you earn 25%. And then month four, it goes to the generational bonus. So if they're on your
So
first
for
level,
those
it's
people who
8%.
if something happens in the future and people are watching this, at this timestamp date of when it is in May 2nd, 2024,
Hmm.
things could have changed again. We just know
Exactly.
that
There
could
you go.
happen.
They do periodically. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Neat. And so at this time, I'll just walk us through this is rather than kind of doing it exactly. I don't think we need to finish it out this way, but I would just create a shopping cart or a wish list for the person and talk through the different pricing options. If they say, well, that's a little too much, what can we narrow it down to? You narrow it down to
Right.
the most important things that either they would be most consistent using or most important things that they need help with. Like if it's really respiratory stuff right now, well, then take off the sulfurzyme supplement, things like that. So you can work with
Gotcha.
that. We talked about loyalty rewards earlier, but I always have like something, there's a great sheet about loyalty rewards. So talk to them about that
Okay.
and then just finish it up with helping them finish up their order. And
Excellent.
yeah, last but not least, I think helping them know that you're there for them. So giving them your contact information, your phone number, your email address. If you have a online space, like social media, a website, a blog that you write, let them know what that is so they can stay in touch that way. Of course, everyone can join the Royal Dream Team Facebook group. So we would love for
Right.
folks to join that. Yay! Tell them about Wednesday Wisdom because they can definitely join us on Wednesday Wisdom on Wednesdays at noon Eastern time. And what else? What else? Something else that's helpful is there's a lot of different, little booklets. Like if you go to Seeds of Time, there's 101 or 150 uses for essential oils. So, or maybe they want to get a desk reference book. You could always share with them reference books to purchase, or if you just have some sort of a book you want to give them, go ahead and do that because it is really nice to give someone something that they can take home and also something that's not extra cost to them. So, there would be my grandiose suggestions about finishing up the wellness assessment. All right, Debbie, lead us out of here. What do you think? Oh, you know what? I think she dropped off. Oh no. Okay. Well, Debbie dropped off of here, but I will finish us out and just say thank you so much, everyone, for watching this training on how to do the wellness assessment. I hope this was helpful for you. We did a lot of teaching moments as well as just kind of walking you through. So keep in mind, it is best to keep these wellness assessments, in the entire process of doing the assessment, having them fill it out, number one. Number two, talking through the products. or excuse me, number three, talking through their answers. Number one, filling it out. Number two, talking through their answers. Number three, coming up with the specific products that can be most helpful for them. And number four, helping them place their order. And number five, letting them know how to get in touch with you. And go ahead and schedule 2 weeks out to give them a phone call. Or if you don't schedule it with them, make a note for yourself because you definitely want to contact them once they get their products in the mail to make sure that they know how to use them and things like that. If you need to do a write up of it and email it to them, kind of a thing, you could say, okay, here's the products you got, here's the recommendations of how to use those, like what time of day, or the specific ways to use the products, due to what their need is. Obviously, we know there's so many uses for thieves, but you don't need to give it all to them. You can just say thieves, rub it on your feet and back, XYZ. So I do think it's helpful to follow up a wellness assessment with kind of a how-to guide, a very basic guide, just to make sure that once they get their products, they know what they're doing. So, all righty. God bless. Thank you so much for just being a wonderful brand partner with Young Living Essential Oils and just joining us and helping spread the amazing good news of what we have to offer and how we can help our friends and family. So till next time, Elizabeth Rose, tuning out.